Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bad Calls, Balls, and Brawls. It's your host, 305 Sports Babe, and co-host, Miami Lou. Hey, but before we start anything sports related, really important to talk about what's happening in Florida today and what has happened to Cuba and everybody the last few days. As all of you know, our state of Florida has been under a state of emergency. Hurricane Ian has hit landfall as a Category 4 in the Punta Gorda, Fort Myers area. It's currently traveling northeast, very, very slow. It's a powerful storm, almost 5 times as big as the storm that hit us in 2004, Hurricane Charlie. I was actually in Hurricane Charlie. I was in Daytona Beach visiting my grandparents then, and it was terrible. And from what we're hearing, that this storm, Hurricane Ian, is even worse than Hurricane Charlie. So thoughts and prayers to all of our friends and family and everybody on the west coast of Florida. And as the storm crosses the state, it looks like it's going to be taking a direct hit to Orlando and then leaving the state out of Palm Coast, which is actually where my family lives. We're definitely thinking and praying for everybody in the path of the storm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We always get humbled by these storms. The amount of damage that they could do, and it's definitely no joke. So just hoping and praying everybody's safe out there. We haven't gotten that kind of impact down here, but that's certainly something that has happened here before. We've gotten a lot of rain dumped on us, a lot of winds, but we haven't seen uprooting of trees. And when it's bad is when you're going to see cars and boats and things like that in the middle of the road. And when a storm is lifting those kind of objects up, it's a serious deal. So, everybody just be safe out there, hunker down. If you stayed, in place, if you went somewhere, hoping and wishing for the best for everybody out there.
Definitely. A lot of people ask, how was it like in Miami? Yesterday it picked up. There was tornadoes all in Broward County. A few of them ended up touching down at North Perry Airport.
The phone alerts were going off every 20 minutes with a potential tornado. So it's scary. You never want to hear that or see that on your phone.
Yeah, we flooded out in our backyard. We got some pretty bad rain back there, some debris. The sign in front of our house fell down, but nothing. I am even embarrassed to tell you guys, nothing compared to what our friends on the West Coast are dealing with. So prayers to everybody who's dealing with the storm now, who dealt with the storm. It's coming up to Orlando within the next few hours and out to Palm Coast, Jacksonville. And then hopefully this beast is out to sea and we don't have to hear about it anymore. So,
and hopefully in a lighter note, hopefully the Bucs can get their training facility back so Tom Brady doesn't have to use anything Dolphin related.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, the storm was projected to hit Tampa. So the Dolphins, being the nice organization that we are, we welcome the Tampa Bay Bucs to come down and use our amazing facilities. So they've been down here, world class. Yeah. So they've been down here the past few days. They brought their animals, their family, everybody. So
Tom Brady is an animal himself. So.
Oh my goodness. So and just as a heads up, they're still in debate if that game will actually be played Sunday night in Tampa. If not, the backup plan is not the Hard Rock, which they originally announced. The backup would be playing in Minnesota. So
I don't understand that. That's like way closer to Kansas City, and it's in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I don't know why the game wouldn't have been moved to Orlando or Jacksonville. Somewhere where
it was. Somebody told me it was a tax thing. I don't know if the truth behind it is, but
it's happened before. It actually happened before, and any Dolphins in the room will remember this. We were supposed to play in San Diego, but there were brush fires out there, and the game got moved to Arizona. Yeah. And it's happened several times. What the NFL normally does is they make all tickets free, so everybody in the local area can go. But I just feel it's supposed to be a Buccaneer home game, and if it gets sent over to Minnesota, that's in the Midwest. So Kansas City fans could drive, and be within distance of that. So, which is fine. I want to see Kansas City beat.
Adam made a good point. Brady probably didn't bring his family.
Yeah, probably
too soon,
not.
Buddy. Too soon. So, but yes, but guys,
I'm sure Giselle's down here in Miami looking for other available replacements for Mr. Brady.
My goodness. Anyways, enough Brady talk.
Yes.
So
too much Brady talk.
Put your hands in the air if your team's 3-0, 3-0. You Eagle fans in the room, put your hands up too. Dolphins are 3-0. Who would have thought?
Right, you just said they're one of two teams. 32 teams in the NFL.
Yep.
Last week we were at 6, and then 4 of those teams lost, but there only remain 2, and we're one of them.
Yeah.
Dolphins and Eagles, only 2 undefeated teams left. It's kind of like the Ace Ventura Bowl, where Ace Ventura at the end, Dolphins and Eagles being the Super Bowl. So hey, maybe they're in a collision course for the famous Ace Ventura Bowl to take place.
So right now in the power ranking, we are ranked number 1, so we're ahead of them. So let's hope that continues. But let's talk.
I'm sorry, Adam mentioned there that last time Brady was the Super Bowl. Go ahead. The last time, Brady played in Minnesota was in the Super Bowl, and of course the Eagles won that game, I believe.
Can we just stop talking about Tom Brady? Oh, enough. So on today's episode, guys, I have such an amazing guest. I cannot wait to bring him on after we recap Sunday's game. He's actually a personal good friend of mine because we didn't know if we were going to have the show today, right? We just didn't know the path of the storm. So the show was a little last minute today. And I reached out to my good buddy about 45 minutes ago to see if he'd be on the show. So I cannot wait to bring him on. Heads up, he is not a Dolphins fan. So don't worry. You're not just going to hear Tyreek to Waddle talk. This is a non-Dolphins fan, but an awesome guest. So stay tuned. We're going to be bringing him on in just a little bit. Hey, Russ. Welcome to the show. Okay, so let's talk last Sunday. Last Sunday, arguably the biggest game of the year so far for us, right? We beat the Patriots, beat the Ravens, and then we had the Bills coming to town. We knew this game was not going to be easy. In fact, many of us Dolphin fans, let's be real, thought we were going to take the L.
I did. I predicted we were going to lose the game. So huge is an understatement. This is a team that came in here having beaten us 7 games in a row, and they
8
are
games, I thought.
7. It was 7 in a row. They are. It's not. Well, maybe, or they're one of. They are the prohibitive favorites to win the Super Bowl.
Hands down.
It's not like it's overwhelming. Everybody and still people are picking the Bills despite them losing their first game, and as they should. They're a tremendous football team who came very close last year to getting there. So, and for us, again, losing 7 in a row to them, and then coming to our house first in a September game. Traditionally, when New England, the Jets, or the Bills come to town in September with the hot sun, which you'll talk about that later.
I'm not talking anything about the sun. I'm talking about it.
It's a real thing, and you'll talk about it later.
Okay, but I want to. Okay,
hold on. You're talking about it later. But
you're getting my pressure up already.
The thing is here is that it was a must-win. The Dolphins had to win this game if they have any illusions of winning the AFC East. Because that second game is in Buffalo in
December.
Just how they're complaining about the sun.
Yeah.
We'll complain about the winter flurries, the snow flurries, the blizzard that might be out there. It's hard to win out there. So the Dolphins had to win this game.
And we did.
And they did.
Okay, real quick about the game. It was crazy. First of all, Bills fans travel excellent. I'm just going to say it. I have some great friends who are actually Bills fans. They travel excellent. There was at least 10,000 Bills fans in our stadium. They made themselves known. They travel well. They love their team and they're passionate. So you guys saw the recap of the game. We're not going to go play by play. You saw we won 21-19, but Bills fans showed up. I didn't see anybody go through any tables, but they showed up.
And they were cool. The people,
we didn't have any problems
with them. The
Bills
fans that were there, they were fine. Now, I have 2 issues. Number one, they took over the elbow room completely. I mean, the elbow room let them
it's
it's a staple and it's an outdoor venue, so everybody could see it's in plain sight. And they let them put up all their banners outside the venue, which that you're now just full on supporting the.
Our light just went out. I like this better view. this darker view makes us look thinner. So let's keep it like that.
So yeah, they let them put their banners up. And that didn't sit well with me. And then the second thing is, the fact that a lot of Dolphin fans, this year was the first year since the Orange Bowl years where we completely sold out all our allotment of tickets in the stadium. So every season ticket package was sold out, and the Dolphins fans there were no tickets available to the public. So what it means is, and I know you're going to mention all our great Dolphin fans from out of state. That come down and fly into town for the game. They have season tickets and they fly into town. So I'm not putting the onus or the blame on them. But if you're a Dolphin season ticket holder and you live in town and you put your tickets up for sale in this game, you knew the Bills fans were going to.
You can't control that because when I bought our Baltimore tickets for week 2, they were sold by Baltimore.
I understand, but the Baltimore Ravens, we did look up. They had tickets available. The Dolphins had no seats available. So my point is, look, we lost 7 in a row to this team. Okay. We know that this is, the franchise that we're up against to try to get this division. And I just look, I'm not going to be the hypocrite here because I've sold tickets too. We sold tickets to our games, but not the Bills game. We didn't want to see them come over and do what they did, and they were strong. There was a strong support of Bill Davis.
Russ asked, how much money did they generate by doing that? How much money did
they
Elbow
dropped
Room?
a lot of money.
Oh, they
dropped a lot of money. You can look it up. There's memes all over.
Anyways, the big thing of enough. Well, I don't say enough about the Bills fans, but I do want to add one thing. After the game, a tweet went very viral from a woman who was completely serious when she said that she wanted to contact OSHA, which is the organization that protects employees from working conditions, because she felt that the Bills were disadvantaged because they had the sun beating down on them the whole entire game. What about us when we go to Buffalo and we're freezing our tails off? What about when we go to Lambeau and it's freezing too? Like, how about me when I go to Publix and I sweat walking out of my car? Like, that was a big thing, and that just exploded on Twitter, exploded on social media.
Yeah, that's home field advantage. It was done by design and on purpose. When they rebuilt the Hard Rock and they put the roof on it, they saw exactly where the sun is at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and they said, hey, that's where the visiting sideline is going to go. And it's no different than, teams' locker rooms, visiting locker rooms being a cubicle, and the home locker room is, a palace. So, these are things that are just part of the game. You got to deal with it. So, they can complain all they want, but it's
at the end of the day, we won. We're leading the AFC. We're leading the AFC East. We're number one in the power rankings, and it is a great dang time to be a Miami Dolphins fan.
That's right. And we'll recap the game really quick. I know you got another guest here lined up, but the one viral tweet that viral meme that went crazy all over was Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator from the Bills.
I'm gonna show them what he did.
Wasn't too happy. Wasn't too happy with the ending of the game, and he just pretty much destroyed
everything.
A tablet, his mouse, his wireless headset, everything went flying. Actually, one of his assistant coaches went in and blocked the camera angle because they said, "Man, this is not going to look good once this gets out, if it gets out." And so I thought that was awesome. It was a great thing to see. Ken Dorsey, a rough couple of days for Ken Dorsey. He, of course, played at the University of Miami.
Quarterback,
And I'm sure he was on hand when UM lost on Saturday. Let's not talk about that. And then he had a pretty bad game call on Sunday against the Dolphins. So
so maybe we'll go back to the Bills talk. You want to say something?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to recap. Look, we won this game, but I got to be honest, we got lucky. Okay, we got lucky. Now, we still won the game. We went on and won it. But you look at these stats. Buffalo controlled the ball for 40 minutes and 40 seconds.
Our defense played the whole entire time.
We had it for 19 minutes and 20 seconds. First downs, Buffalo 31, Miami 15. Total plays, Buffalo 90, Miami 39. Total yards, 497, over almost 500. And the Dolphins, 212.
I got to stop you right there. If someone who didn't know the final score was to see those stats, you would have thought we got our
Buffalo won by 21 points.
Exactly. But those stats do not dictate the game.
But here's where it gets good for the Dolphins. Turnover battle. Dolphins forced a turnover.
We fought.
Okay. And we didn't give any turnovers over to the Bills. So we won the turnover battle. Okay. And the defense stepped up when they needed to. The defense, bottom line, stepped up. They made plays. They kept Josh Allen on the field, that offense on the field. They were huffing and puffing. I
didn't even know Stephon Diggs was actually playing. He was so quiet. I mean, Von Miller, like these guys. I know people say the Bills are missing a lot of players, but you guys had your top three guns, right? And they also had that guy, Singletary.
Singletary. He ran the ball all right. But again, they could not, when they needed to, put points on the board. They scored, going to the halftime 14-14. I want to add that at the end of the first half, Buffalo, and I think I've been trying to read about it to see if Ken Dorsey made the call or not. They try to catch the Dolphins sleeping. Instead of setting up a play and running to the field goal, they ran a quick play, kicked it out to Stephon Diggs, and he couldn't get out of bounds either. They didn't have any timeouts, and the clock ran out just like it did at the end of the game. So they left potentially 3 points on the board. Well, what was the final score? 21-19.
That would have been the winning.
That could have been the winner. Yeah. And then in the second half, they also missed a field goal. Tyler Bass, their kicker, missed a field goal. And then in the last, obviously, possession that they had on offense, they had 4 downs. It was first and goal from the 5-yard line. They have 4 opportunities to punch the ball in, and they couldn't do it. Xavier Howard made a hell of a play on Stephon Diggs, deflected the pass in the end zone. And then, Josh Allen short-armed the ball. But that's a product of him being on the field for 40 minutes and 40 seconds, and the Dolphins making him work for everything. The Dolphins' D was relentless. X almost had a pick six to the house.
Yeah.
Jalen Phillips almost had.
But we also had. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, Jalen Phillips almost had a ball that he deflected and almost got afterwards that could have ended the game.
But there's some pick sixes that we should have had that, again, in this game.
They were toss-ups. I mean,
but we got us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then the big guy on defense, again, Melvin Ingram with a big fumble recovery that set us up for Chase Edmonds' first touchdown.
I love Chase.
And Melvin Ingram, of course, got that big fumble recovery for a touchdown in week 1 against the Patriots. So the defense is making plays. They have made even in the Baltimore game, we gave it 38 points. Sorry, no, we didn't. One of those points was directly off a kickoff return. Okay, and then they scored all those points in the first half. In the second half,
we shut them down. It was no contest.
So it was 3 big plays. It was a pass from Lamar Jackson to Devatry. It was also Lamar Jackson taking it to the house on the 1 run. Okay. And then after that, the Dolphins did what they needed to do. So big credit to the Dolphin defense. They stepped up and they've been doing it all year.
I think you're just talking about the Dolphins over and over because you are scared of my next guest.
Well,
because
once you see what he looks like, I think everybody is scared of him now. I mean, he is. I mean,
well, you can see him. There's a preview of him down there. Good buddy of mine. What do I say? Welcome to the jungle. Without further ado, welcome to the jungle.
Hooday, baby. Hooday. How you doing, guys?
What's going on?
Not much. Can you hear me okay?
You're a little blurred.
Yeah.
Leave it on for another second, then take it off so we can hear you better.
Yeah, well, as soon as we get.
Oh my goodness. So, how's it feel to be a Bengals fan how's it feel to be a Bengals fan these days?
Oh, it's good. I mean, we was expecting more, but it's coming back.
Our chat room's going wild seeing you.
Let me take this off.
Yeah, go ahead and take it off so we can hear you better.
I think he's wearing also the is that the white uniform you guys are going to be wearing tomorrow?
Yes, sir. I got
nice. It is nice, man. I got a couple of
pants.
You got the pants too.
Yeah,
no, he's the real deal.
Nice, man. There you go. You're all decked out.
I'm ready.
The end zone, that whiteout you guys are doing tomorrow, man. It looks great. The end zones are all and white Bengal tiger stripes. It looks great, man. The unis look
the field and everything. It's looking good. It's going to be a heck of a time. I guarantee you that.
So you're going to be there tomorrow?
Yep, I'll be there. I've had season tickets for over 20 years. I don't ever miss a game.
So what's it like being a season ticket holder for the Bengals? Give us an overview. Is it you have a strong fan base of season ticket holders? Is it kind of hit or miss? Do you guys sell out? What's it like being a season ticket holder for the Bengals?
Well, it's been up and down. Over the years, we've had a lot of hard times, and when they go through the hard times, naturally the season ticket drop off. The fans quit coming, and the bandwagon fans, as they like to call them. But now when we started winning, when Marvin first came, that picked up and we had full stadiums and everybody was rocking. And then after we couldn't win a playoff game for several years, the fan base started dwindling again. And then when they brought Zach in, that kind of energized everything again. And then last year just put it over the top. It's crazy. I mean, I went tailgating, for example. We tailgate at Longworth Hall, usually start out there. And usually if you get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, you can get a spot, no problem. Well, the Pittsburgh game at 9 o'clock, they were turning people away. They was full. It was just crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you guys are the defending AFC champions. So, a lot of excitement there. You were a long-suffering franchise. I remember,
yes.
You actually played in your last Super Bowl previous to this past year was down here against the 49ers, and one that you should have won. Joe Montana came back at the end there and
Lewis Phillips dropped the interception in the end zone that would have sealed the game.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that.
Yeah, we were. I was rooting for you then, and I was rooting for you last year. But unfortunately, tomorrow's a different situation. But
so Jack, our local grocery store down here is Publix, and during the Super Bowl, they had the balloons of the Rams and the Bengals, a big balloon.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to tell you that we had a Bengals balloon in our living room. I was wearing my little lion cheetah outfit. So we were all Team Bengals last year.
Proud
As
of
of
you.
tomorrow's a different story, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I posted on Facebook we're having a fish fry at the stadium tomorrow night.
Oh, come on.
I couldn't resist.
That's a good one. It's either fish fry or squish the fish.
Yeah.
We've heard it all. We get it.
Yeah,
It's all right.
I'm sure. Yeah, somebody actually
Well, listen,
got a
you
picture on Facebook or picture on Google from when the Saints played you guys. They had a Zatarain's rice, and that's where they did the fish fry. I kind of stole that.
No.
man. Well, look, you got a whole white end zone now, so I know you normally have orange in there, but we got some orange and aqua, and we're going to hope to have a lot of aqua and orange in those end zones tomorrow night, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I guarantee you. I think we're going to come to play. We tend to play better against the better teams.
So let's talk about that. So off to a 1-2 start. Lost a surprising game to Pittsburgh in week 1.
Yeah,
you were playing from behind the whole game and finally got back in it. But I mean, Steelers, not a lot expected of them this year, and with Trubisky, not being a quarterback that you can rely on.
Exactly.
Was that surprising to drop that opening game at home?
Yeah, I don't know if the players were as overconfident as we were as fans. I mean, everybody just knew we were going to win that game. I mean, you look at the numbers on both sides, it just naturally you had to expect it. But the fact that we didn't do any preseason work with, like we had a whole new offensive line, nobody played a snap, until the first game of the season, and that just don't equate to continuity.
Right. Well, you beat the Jets last week to get your first win, and seeing the Jets on the schedule is traditionally a good, a hope of getting a victory. So you guys did that last week, and you got some momentum to build on. Definitely, the big 3 receivers haven't gone off yet. Jamar Chase has been relatively quiet, and Joe Burrow, even though he found some holes last week against the Jets, hasn't really done what he was doing pretty much all of last year during the playoff run.
Right. Well, and that's what Jamar Chase said after the second game when we lost. To Dallas, he said we've got to learn to make adjustments. We're too predictable. Everybody knows what we're going to do, so you have to make adjustments. And I think that's what they did last week. They kind of opened it up a little bit against the Jets, and like these defenses are, they know what kind of defense to play against us. So it's up to us to, say, okay, if you're going to play a cover 2 or Tampa 2, whatever you want to call it, we're going to do this. We have to dictate to them what's going to happen, not let them dictate to us what we're going to do because of their defense.
That's true.
Yeah, and our good buddy Adam mentioned that the second week lost to the Dallas Cowboys without Dak Prescott. That was a road game though, but surely you wouldn't expect to be 1-2 and your one win coming against the Jets.
Right.
You figure to be at least 2-1 and really well with those first 3 games.
And we're playing better. I mean, like I said, the Jets game, and the Jets really, they have a good defense. They're coming along. I think, eventually they might get back to where they want to be, but to beat the Browns.
Not this year. We got the top this year.
They beat the Browns the week before. They shouldn't have. I mean, the Browns beat themselves, but Cleveland's pretty tough too. So our whole division is going to be a dogfight, just like yours.
Yeah.
Now, Jack, what's the weather up there? I know our Dolphins got into town today. What's the weather like? What's it up there tomorrow? What's a tip off? What are we looking like?
It's going to be a high of 67, a low of 45, and no rain in sight. So it's going to be beautiful weather for football.
And how far do you live from the stadium?
I'm 40 minutes north of, right on 75. So it takes me about 40 minutes to get there. I'll be down there about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So
nice.
We like
Jack,
to start early.
Are you a Reds fan as well?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. I've been to Synergy. Is it still called Synergy Park? No. What's it called?
No,
Great American.
Great American Ballpark.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking the old riverfront.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Yeah, I've been to Great American Park, Great American Ballpark. I love the Hall of Fame you guys have. I mean, that is tremendous.
Amazing.
Yeah, they really honor the rich tradition of the Reds that dates back to the oldest franchise in baseball.
Yeah.
And really the way that they present everything out there, all the great players that have come through there is really impressive.
Yeah, they. I actually bought 6-game package this year before they went and sold half of the team before the season started. So turned out, it wasn't much of a year, and I was kind of disappointed. But
Yeah.
That's the way it is in sports.
We are Marlins fans. We don't understand.
We've had more downs.
Our buddy Adam Gilmore said Fairfield Township here, Jack. Is that by you, Fairfield Township?
It's not too far. It's probably 20 minutes, I think.
Okay, perfect. So, Jack, I wanted to ask you. Now, obviously we're huge Dolphin fans. We've been friends on Facebook, and we've been friends for a while.
Yeah.
What are the Bengals saying about the Dolphins? What are you guys feeling about tomorrow? What are you thinking about Tua? Are you surprised about the 3-0 start? Let us know we're curious to know. What's the league thinking about us?
What do we think about the Dolphins? Is that the question?
Yeah. What do you guys think about our 3-0 start? What do you think about us coming to town? What's kind of the feel? What's the talk in Ohio right now?
Well, they're a team to be reckoned with. There's no doubt about that. They've got two great wide receivers. It's hard to cover two guys like that. As just like the Bengals, we have three of them, and sometimes you have to pick your poison and let one guy beat you, but not beat you too bad. And it takes luck in this game, just like there's skill and there's luck. Injuries, you avoid injuries, you can win. And just like last week, like Lou said earlier, the Dolphins, should have lost that game probably. Miami or Buffalo just screwed up. And Pittsburgh should have lost that game against us. Just freak things happen, and that's part of the game. As fans, we have to learn to just get over it and move on. And the players do. They have to.
Yeah. Now, Jack, speaking of injuries, Joe Mixon was a little banged up on Sunday. Is he good to go? What's the injury report looking?
Yeah, he's okay. I think
he'll be playing. We lost DJ Reader for at least a month. The nose tackle, that was a big loss because he's a stuffer. He's one of our big free agents we got 2 years ago. He got a knee injury there in the game Sunday, so he's out for at least a month. But other than that, I think we're pretty well set as far as injuries.
Which is concerning, that because Joe Burrow's been sacked 15 times in the first 3 games. I'm not a math major, but I believe that's 5 a game. If my math is correct.
Yeah, 15 divided by
Okay, I guess I'm not so bad at math. What do you make of that? Joe Burrow being sacked 15 times, that's a lot, and the Dolphins defense, is coming. They're hungry.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is, like I said before, the lack of preseason playing together as a offensive line unit, and Joe will admit himself too. He's a gamer. He don't want to eat that ball, or throw it away. He's always trying to hang on to it till the last second and make a play, and sometimes it bites him in the butt. He gets sacked, but then there's a lot of times where he just don't have a second to even take a step back, and they're there. So it's kind of a combination of 6 of one, half dozen of the others. So.
Jack,
I'm sure the Dolphins will be coming.
No, we are. Jack, we have a question from a very loyal viewer of the show, a good friend of ours. Russ Taylor wants to know, Jack, you don't sound like you're born and bred in Ohio. Am I right or wrong in that assumption? They want to know where you're from.
No, I was born in Sydney, Ohio, which is about an hour north of, I live in Springboro now, but I was born and raised in Sydney, Piqua, and Covington, all in the same area. So definitely a lifelong Ohio boy.
Oh, there you go.
Ohio. Yeah, perfect. So we spoke about injuries. I don't know if you read the Dolphins report right now, and I'll kind of update everybody in the room. Right now, we have a lot of key players who are questionable for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. The biggest one, obviously, is Tua. Yeah. On Sunday, it was very, very scary. The hit, it almost, and I don't want to be the reporter here, but the way it looked like it was his head. So obviously the concussion, I know we're not going to say it.
He said it was his back. Let's go with that. He said it was his back.
Yeah.
So whatever the case may be.
I have my doubts, but that's his story. So.
Yeah, right. No. And then when he got up, the way he wobbled, which I can understand. I had back problems. I was in an accident before. It locked up. So long story short.
It was his back, and we're sticking to it.
His back. Okay.
The coaching staff was like, it's your back.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is questionable right now? That is coming from Miami media. That's coming from coach. We thought we'd have a decision by now as to if he was going to be official, but right now Tua is questionable. That is also on top of Jalen Waddle, Xavier Howard, and probably my favorite player on the team, Teron Armstead. So arguably 4 key players right now are questionable going into tomorrow.
Well, some of my friends that are Bengal fans, we talked about Tua, and most of them said we want him to play. We don't want to have, if we win, we don't want them to say, well, it's because Tua couldn't play. So, hey, hopefully he plays and he's okay, and we'll see what happens.
Because our backup is Teddy Bridgewater, and then behind Teddy Bridgewater is Skylar Thompson, who, I mean,
look, Teddy got into the game for 4 plays or 3 plays last week, and it did not look good. So if our record against backup quarterbacks, and we don't do too good. The first 2 games. I mean, Can you elaborate on that, Chuck?
Yeah, we need to take some notes here.
Backup quarterback.
All you gotta do is Google it.
No, so I mean, we thought we'd have more of an answer, going into tonight about who's a yay, who's a nay. But Coach McDaniel, who we have tremendous respect for, we know he's going to do what's best, not only for the team, for the player. It'll just be closer to a game time. Obviously, it's going to be closer to a time decision.
Well, the question is, one good hit, what's it going to do to Tua? If it is his back, one good hit, he might be done for the day too. So.
That is true.
And that's the problem we had last year. First it was his finger, or first it was his ribs, then his finger. And the first one to say he's very injury prone. And I mean, as long as he can stay healthy, he's a phenomenal quarterback. But it's those hits that he's not a Ben Roethlisberger. He can't take those hits.
Don't even mention that name.
Oh, sorry.
Do we know what we're talking about?
I know. I forgot. I mean, you're in a different division than us. I forgot. That word's nothing to me. That's a very sensitive.
Jack, I apologize for those bad flashbacks.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, goodness. So,
I'm sorry. Yeah. Speaking of that, who would you consider, and maybe you just gave it away, but who is the Bengals' biggest rival? It has to be. It could be Cleveland, right? I mean.
Well, it was Pittsburgh, but now that, I think Cleveland's kind of on the rise. They're looking pretty dang scary.
Yeah.
If they can keep everybody healthy, like Myles Garrett just had an auto wreck, rolled his Porsche.
Yeah, I saw that.
Turned out, I guess he still may play Sunday, so he was lucky he got out of that okay. But, man, their defense is good. Their offense is two-headed beast with those running backs. If they had a couple more top receivers, they would be pretty scary.
Yeah, so you would say Cleveland, even though Pittsburgh for several years now is pretty much.
I'd still say Pittsburgh. I mean, at this point, it used to be Cleveland until they moved Cleveland away. When they moved.
Yeah, then they came back and they have really not been relevant since. I always remember Sam Weiss though at the old Riverfront saying, "You don't leave in Cleveland," So I remember that whole.
He gave a speech at my workplace and he was talking about that, and he said, as soon as those words come out of my mouth, I thought, what did you just say, you dumbass?
Jack doesn't know what it is.
That's awesome.
Oh, my goodness. Awesome. Goodness. So tell me, what's so at your stadium, so for people visiting, what's obviously we love food because we're just the skinniest people out there. For our Dolphin fans coming to in town, what's 3 musts that they must do or see in the area or at the stadium?
Oh, goodness. Well, like he just mentioned, the Reds Hall of Fame. I mean, that's just 2 blocks from the Bengals Stadium, so they could walk down there. And there's a place called the Banks right by the Reds Stadium. They have all kinds of really nice bars and places to eat. Across the river, there's a Newport on the levee. They have a Newport Aquarium. It's a really nice aquarium, which a lot of people like to visit that. So I would recommend that also.
Are there dolphins in there? Wink, wink.
I've never been there myself. Everybody says it's great.
Okay.
But, that would be a good sightseeing trip for people, especially if they bring kids to the game, Yeah. And then, of course, the tailgating. There's several big tailgates there. I mean, really. And they welcome everybody. We're the Bengals Bomb Squad at Longworth and at Lot 1. They welcome all fans with open arms. And Bengal Jim's tailgate down in Lot E, he's the same way. He has a huge tailgate and a lot of fans that come there. So
you're making me want to take a next flight up there. It sounds like
you need to get out of that weather.
Oh, I know. It's been really rainy, but same with our tailgate too, right? I mean, everybody's always welcome to East 12. No matter. I saw you look up. We had the game on. Aaron Judge is up. Is he going to do it now?
We'll see. We'll talk about that later.
He still hadn't got that 61.
Yeah, he's at 60 right now. He's trying to tie Roger Maris, so it's a big deal.
He's been that way for what, 4 days?
Yeah,
4 days?
he's pressing. They're walking him a lot too. They're still a big races with the team they're playing. So
nobody wants to be the guy.
Yeah, our buddy Adam also said something about a beer at Holy Grail.
Yeah, Holy Grail is right across from the Red Stadium. That's a nice bar to go to. They have TVs everywhere, and it's a good place to eat. And then there's a Moorline Brewery Company right there. It's a nice place.
Nice. You had me a brewery. I like it.
You had me burgers.
He does though knock the Skyline chili. Well, what's your take? A Skyline chili all the rage or what?
I don't like it. It's got cinnamon in it. I don't want cinnamon in my chili.
Yeah.
I know that. Okay.
Gold Star chili is the best. That's in Cincinnati also. I mean, it's a franchise, but it's good chili. But yeah, I just don't care for Skyline.
No. So tomorrow's game.
Let's get a prediction.
As I start to wrap it up, we'll make a friendly wager here.
Okay.
Final prediction tomorrow.
Final prediction. I'm going to say 24-21 Bengals.
That close.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think, with Tua and Burrow both, they're both gamers, and no matter, we can be down 2 or 3 scores, and I still don't feel like we're out of it, because that's when Burrow's at his best, when they put the ball in his hands and turn him loose.
As with us, we learned that against Baltimore that we're still in the game. We're still in the game. I mean, Luke kept saying that when we were in Baltimore the other week. You're right. It's not if you go into the 4th down by 2 touchdowns, you're still in the game. So
yeah, I seen Allie Goodman had her thing, the bathroom talk on Facebook. She was talking about, we're down, but we're not out of it and everything.
And that's the thing you gotta believe. Like, that's the last 3 games have really made us our first 3 games could have easily went both ways.
Ours could too. We could be 3-0 right now.
Dolphins fans right now would not have said we would have started our season 3-0, right? It would have been a 2-1, something like that. So for us to be 3-0, the whole believing thing is big with us.
Yeah.
I'll tell you also, Jack, our franchises right now are really, we were battling for that number 1 overall pick, which ended up being, of course, Joe Burrow. Yep. And then even last year, or 2 years before, when we had the draft and it was either Jamar Chase, we ended up with Jalen Waddle. So we're talking about, we've gotten the second of the picks between, what you guys got. You guys seem to have gotten a better player, but we're going neck to neck. It's going to come to a tomorrow night. I
think they're both pretty good. I mean, Waddle's an amazing player too. So
Yep.
And like I said, defenses are going to start figuring out ways to stop you guys too, just like they have us.
The wild card is that we ended up getting Tyreek Hill in a trade. So I think offensively that puts us maybe a little bit ahead. But Joe Burrow's still the better quarterback. And I would have to say that Jamar Chase, even though Waddle's had an amazing start to the year, Jamar Chase is still – those 2 guys are still better on paper than what we got. I don't want to make it seem like it's second fiddle because we're very happy with our guys. But at the end of the day, you were in the Super Bowl last year. We haven't been in a long time. Yeah. So we're trying to mimic what you did.
Yeah, I'm still disbelief over that. I watch the highlights of that all the time. I mean,
it was
I'll
awesome.
never forget it.
Heck of a run. So.
Jack, do you remember the Dolphins used to be good?
Oh yeah, Dan Marino days. Heck yeah.
I miss those days. I became a Dolphins fan in 2007, 2008, so I never really got to see the.
There it is.
The heart. Oh, Judge just did it.
Just hit number 51. Yeah. You just tied Roger Maris.
Wow, that's awesome that it just happened on the show.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That was cool.
Pretty story there, yeah.
Perfect. All right, Jack, we won't hold you up any longer. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
You're quite welcome.
Our friends on the show, where can if they want to be friends with you, how can they find you on social media?
Well, Facebook, just look up Jack Burnside. I mean, has my picture with my Tiger outfit, so can't miss that.
Perfect. And, you'll accept us Dolphin fans?
Of course.
Pardon me?
You'll accept us Dolphin fans?
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. I'm friends with a lot of different people from all the teams, even some Steeler fans.
He's the nicest man. They don't get nicer than Jack, I'm telling you. But anyways, Jack, best of luck tomorrow. Not really, but I'm going to say that because my friend. Don't be too mean to the Dolphins fans. We have a great group of people coming up there.
We won't.
And may everyone have a great game. So everyone stay healthy, and it's going to be a great game. So
may the best team win, as they say.
Perfect. Well, have a good night.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Take care, Jack. Talk to you later.
All right.
Have fun tomorrow.
Bye.
Oh, I love Jack. He is the
cool.
coolest guy.
Yeah.
So we usually don't allow like opposing. Okay, you here. See Aaron. Go ahead. See it.
Go ahead.
There's his parents.
No, that's Roger Maris's son hugging Aaron Judge's mom. So that's pretty cool.
So my cousin just came into the show.
Nice.
My cousin Vinny. Well, I can really say like I have a cousin Vinny. What's up, cuz? Second late night son with 3-0. That's what's up. So happy for you. Be safe with the storm. So my cousin and his father, my Uncle Pete, diehard Jets fans. And my grandmother is now staying with them. So when I went to go visit my nonna a few weeks ago, I brought her all Dolphin stuff. So she would not be converted. So it's not happening. She does tell me when you guys, lost, I think it was like she was like, Uncle Pete was very mad. But no, we really appreciate the support, cuz as you know, it's been it's been wild. I mean, if you were to tell me, Dolphins would go 3, if I was to tell you Dolphins would go 3-0 when I saw you a few weeks ago, you'd be like, oh, stop drinking. You know what I mean? Like, what are you saying? But it's been a fantastic time.
We did the breakdown of the schedule at the beginning, in the off season and right before the season. And we all agreed that, let's at the very least get out of it 2-2 the first 4 games. And we're way ahead of that, obviously. And we're just trying to now, keep it going. So, but it was a very tough 4 games to start the year, and we got one more in that group coming up, and so we're very pleased and very ahead of what we thought we would be.
Definitely. No. So thank you, cuz, for coming to the house tonight. But all is well down here. No, the storms. Just to recap on that, we had really bad weather yesterday. Probably 68 inches of rain. The wind was bad. I told Lou, like, hey, get home. It's getting really bad out. Throughout the night, bad thunderstorms. But thanks be to God, we were spared from the storm. But Port Charlotte, Fort Myers, they're terrible. Like, it's ground zero there. The storm's slowly making its way through Disney. My cousin's a huge Disney fan, just like us. They actually closed Disney today and tomorrow. So, when they do close Disney, you know how serious it is. And then the storm's projected to go through Orlando and out to my parents out in Palm Coast. So just keep everybody in our prayers. It's a really bad storm. And
absolutely. It's, these things are unfortunately part of the deal living in Florida. You give up not having snow and all that stuff for the beautiful weather, but you're gonna have to deal with these hurricanes occasionally. And
so my cousin lived in Tampa for a little bit, so he gets it. Yeah, no, he lives in Tampa for a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so real quick on the November. Yes, you're coming down November. We're actually renewing our Disney season annual pass this week, so let us know. Okay, so to watch the game tomorrow, that's a big question that I'm being asked a lot. For all you non-Dolphin, for everybody.
We'll start off with the people that live here.
Okay.
And work your way out.
Thank you. Okay. So if you live in South Florida, you can watch the Dolphins game for free on channel 39 in South Florida. Again, channel 39 in South Florida, you will be able to watch the Dolphins game tomorrow. You can also watch the game for non-Florida, South Florida people on Twitch. Twitch, the game will be live. You can watch it at a sports bar, right? Sports bars will have it. Or the easiest way, most sports bar will have it.
I don't know.
No, that's what they're promoting it. Yeah, no, that's what they're promoting at sports bars. The other option that I'd say the majority of you guys should take advantage of is do the Amazon 4-week Amazon Prime trial. It's free, right? Free for 4 weeks, Amazon Prime for free, and you will get the game. I actually have Amazon Prime. I have it a regular subscription. Lou can tell you.
Now you tell me.
You don't see all the packages that are here every day.
Yeah, I know, but you didn't tell me I could watch the games.
Well, I do like our time together without football. No, so yeah, guys. So watch the game tomorrow. A lot of people are asking. You live in South Florida, you can watch it on channel 39 in South Florida. You can watch it on Twitch. You could watch it at a sports bar. Call up first to see if they have the game. But, it might be a good opportunity to watch it out. Or the best option, if you do not live in South Florida, is to get the 4-week trial of Amazon Prime, and you'll be able to watch it. They will ask for your credit card, but as soon as the game's over, just cancel your subscription.
Or wait the 4 weeks so you can catch up the other games.
Or that too, yeah.
And if you're not a Dolphin fan, look at the schedule and pick your 4-week ratio appropriately based on the games.
So my cousin was in Tampa when the Bucks won in the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Too. That was a big one.
They beat the Raiders that year. Yeah.
He's also Raiders. He's actually a Raiders fan
so that's
too.
why,
he goes both ways for that.
For
that. Sorry, cuz. So Dolphins game tomorrow. I will be having a pregame show starting at 7:45. I'll have Richmond Webb. Dolphins, great. He has the Hall of Fame ballot again this year.
Yep.
If this man does not make it into Canton this year, I'm going to flip the house upside down. But he's going to be on the show tomorrow at 7:45.
Yes.
So that'll
Richmond,
be good.
A tremendous building block for our franchise for many, many years, and protected Dan Marino's blind side. Pro Bowler, multiple-time Pro Bowler. Just an all-around great guy.
Great friend, great man. I mean, top-notch in the Dolphin community.
Deserves to be among those in Canton.
His only flaw is that he's a Texas A&M fan, and they beat the Canes. So that's the only bad thing we have to say. Russ, look at Russ. He's waiting for your 1972 year.
There you go.
Wait, one more thing first. One more thing. Don't worry, we're not forgetting about that. One more thing before Lou goes into what happened in 1972. I have a contest going on until tomorrow at halftime. I had an anonymous who wants to remain anonymous, Dolphins fan, come to me, and I'll tell you it's a she, and she wanted to partner with me to do a contest. So any Dolphin fans who live in Ohio, if you give me your name and the city you live in, we're going to do a drawing tomorrow at halftime. Randomly select a Dolphin fan who lives in Ohio, and we will be mailing you a Dolphin surprise gift. So no strings attached. I don't need follows. I don't need retweets. No paid. It's just, hey, you live in enemy territory for that day. We want to get back to you. So if you or yourself is a Dolphins fan in Ohio, because Ohio's the next one, give me your name and the city you live in, and we'll be doing a drawing tomorrow at halftime live. I'll come on air, and we'll do the drawing tomorrow for that. So, yes, and then next week when we play the Jets, that'll be open for fans in New York and New Jersey. You see how I had to be New York and New Jersey? So that'll be next week.
And Philadelphia, too. Might as well open it up to them, too.
No, that's only the Eagles.
Yeah,
no, because then I also had a great friend of mine who's from Canada, and he said, well, what about air? What about us Canadians? Yeah. So during the bye week, it'll be open to everybody.
All right. Okay.
So I already thought that out. Okay, so Lou's weekly segment. This week in 1972. So for you guys who haven't saw this part of the show, Lou goes back in history in 1972
I get in the time machine and I go back and I come up with all these facts
of what happened in 1972. So you have the floor.
All right. Well, first of all, this is a very popular segment. Apparently, we got to come up with a theme music or something to it. But I'll go ahead and do it one more time without the music. But I'm going to have to ask for music next week. All right. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. So as Ashley mentioned, we're doing. This is the 50th year anniversary of the 1972 Dolphins. So I'm giving you 3 facts from the year 1972, and then what the Dolphins did. We're in week 2 this episode, this show. So let's start with what happened
in
72.
Week 2 in 1972. We're in week 3 because back in 1972 it was a little delayed. So
exactly. Well, we talked about it in the previous show. They had 6 preseason games back in 72.
That's so dangerous.
6
I hate having one preseason
games. Game. So that's why the schedule's a little bit behind right now. But all right, let's get right to
it. We have to use. My cousin made a good point. We have to use the Back to the Future music.
There you go. That's perfect. Vinny, I love that. Cue it up. Do it right now, actually, if you can find it.
Do you use a DeLorean?
A DeLorean.
What's
DeLorean?
That?
A DeLorean.
What is that?
That's from the movie.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, I use a DeLorean to transport back to the year 1972. No phone booth for me.
What is
DeLorean.
What is a DeLorean?
It's a car. All right, just stop. Now you're showing that you don't know. You've never seen Back to the Future. All right, anyways.
I've been on the ride with
Vinny, how did you deal with this back and not letting her?
Vinny's your age.
Yeah, but he should have showed you Back to the Future.
Okay.
All right, anyways. All right, let's get right to it.
He's a Goonies fan.
All right, here we go.
Go ahead.
1972, The Godfather was just finishing its run as the #1 movie in America. The movie, of course, is about the organized crime mob family of Don Vito Corleone. It was released on March 24th, 1972, and is regarded as one of the best movies of all time. You know that? Are you aware of that?
I've never seen the movie, but I know it's a big movie. I wasn't around back then.
I wish you could go back in time and change your answer. Twice already.
Okay. Great movie, I believe.
Okay. All right. Famous celebrity birthday. Actress Gwyneth Paltrow was born in 1970, and her birthday was actually yesterday. She turned 50 yesterday.
Happy birthday.
I've been trying to find celebrities that are born around the time that we're doing the show, and I finally found one. So Gwyneth Paltrow, very famous celebrity, was actually born yesterday. She turned 50. She, of course, won an Academy Award in 1999 for her role in Shakespeare in Love. And she was also famously married to Chris Martin, who is the lead singer of the band. Don't strike out on this one.
I'm like a 90s baby. Can someone help me with this? Wait, I've opened up. I'm asking the audience. Audience, I'm calling a friend. I'm asking the audience. Somebody help me, please. Ask again. They weren't listening to you. Ask again, and I'm going to get help.
Who was Gwyneth Paltrow famously married to?
Pepper Potts.
No.
Russ!
Guys, come on.
Somebody help me here, please. I'm not to sleep outside in the storm. Somebody ask the question again. Who was?
Gwyneth Paltrow was married to. Thank you. Who got it?
Coldplay.
Yes, Chris Martin, of course, the lead singer for the band Coldplay. They have 2 kids together, so there you go. Gwyneth Paltrow, born on September 27, 1972. There you have it. And then one last fact, since we just watched Aaron Judge, of course, hit home run number 61. The great Albert Pujols, which we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and give you a baseball fact, since records are in play this week. On this week, 50 years ago, specifically on September the 30th, so what's it, 28th? In 2 days, 50 years ago, September the 30th, the great Roberto Clemente recorded his 3,000th and final hit on the last day of the 72 season. So yeah, he got his in the last game of the year, he got his 3,000 hit, and then tragically, that New Year's Eve, there was an earthquake in Nicaragua, and he was going to deliver supplies, food supplies for the people of Nicaragua, and his plane went down, and he tragically lost his life.
Oh, no.
Yes. So, but he got his 3,000 hit 50 years ago this week, and that is why 3,000 is such a special number, because when you get it, you tie Roberto Clemente, who never had an opportunity
to go past
play past that number. It's amazing. His final number on the final day of the season ended at exactly 3,000. So the great Roberto Clemente, 50 years ago this week. All right, now I got a couple more trivia questions. Hopefully you get these.
Okay, I'm using all my Ask the Audience because you guys have my back.
Yeah, help her out. She needs a lot of help this week. So the Dolphins this week in 1972, this was week 2.
Wait, can I guess? I bet you they won the game.
Well, you got that right. That's pretty good.
Undefeated that year.
That's pretty good. I wonder how you came up with that one. So the Dolphins defeated the Houston Oilers 34-13 in their home opener at the Orange Bowl.
Okay.
The game was played on September 24th at 1 p.m., as I mentioned, at the old Orange Bowl, with a game time temperature of
72 degrees.
77 degrees.
Oh, the Bills fans wouldn't have got mad about that. The Bills fans still would have thought that was too hot.
That was too hot. So the Orange Bowl, of course, went on to be demolished in 2008.
Yep.
And Lone Depot Park was built on the site.
Where our Marlins play.
Right. The Houston Oilers relocated to where? And became who? The Houston Oilers are still playing, but as a different team in a different city.
It's not the Ravens.
It's not the Ravens.
Let's
open it up to the chat.
Colts.
No, you've already decided. I'm not asking you anymore.
Texans.
No.
You make me seem like I don't know sports, and I know sports more than everybody.
Anybody know that? No?
Your dick's just cramped here and that. That's a fact. The Texans.
No.
So who did the Oilers become? The Oilers moved to Tennessee and became the Titans.
There you go. So
Russ.
The Houston Oilers relocated to Tennessee in 1997. They played as the Tennessee Oilers for 2 seasons before rebranding as the current day Tennessee Titans. So whoever got it, you are correct.
That was Russ. Russ always has my back.
Now, quick recap of the game. We mentioned the Dolphins won 34-13 in their home opener. The Dolphins drained all the oil from the Oilers that day. On that Sunday afternoon, they led the game 20-0 at halftime and were up 27-0 before the Oilers even scored a point. Jim Kick, Mercury Morris, Larry Zonka, and Bob Greasy all scored rushing touchdowns. And Jim Kick also caught a touchdown pass from Bob Greasy. Gary Oyepremian missed an extra point, and that was pretty much the only thing wrong that the Dolphins did all day. Again, the Dolphins win week 2, 34-13 over the Houston Oilers in their home opener at the Orange Bowl. That's what we got for week 2. You have to tune in next week to see if they won again the following week.
What do you guys think? Do you think Dolphins won week 3 of the 1972 season? All say yay? No.
I think so.
Perfect. Okay, so switching gears, we could talk about the Dolphins all day, right? It's just, I mean, I don't want to say our heads are big right now, but it is a heck of a good time to be a Dolphins fan. It feels kind of unreal that this is happening. We've had so much bad luck with the Dolphins.
Yep.
Obviously, we're Heat fans, so we know what, winning seasons feel like, but this is great. Talking about the Heat, our Miami Heat are currently in the Bahamas right now. Coach Spo took them all out there, and they have they set up a court and a training camp and a court and a banquet hall. That was kind of weird. Jimmy Butler.
No, it's not that weird. So they actually play a very famous college basketball tournament down there called the Battle for Atlantis, and they do play it in these ballrooms. It's a ballroom setting. It's high enough where they can shoot the ball up in the air. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
So they're out there. A lot of players lost a lot of weight during off season. I mean,
Kyle Lowry,
Max Strus, I wish I was on that off-season thing because they look fantastic. So the one thing that did look fantastic is Jimmy Butler's hair. Trust me, I'm all about the hair extensions and adding the length, but Jimmy, cut it, man. What are you doing, bro?
He just doesn't have the body for it because he's so ripped and skinny.
Oh, really? Because you do?
No, I'm just saying. I don't think he, I think, I think it's going to take some getting used to if he's going to rock him during the season.
So crazy to think that Miami Heat basketball starts in 2.5 weeks. I cannot wait.
Panthers too. Panthers are up in Nashville right now.
Yep, they're safe in Nashville right now doing some practicing.
That's right.
And getting ready for the season.
So yeah, NHL and NBA starting in a couple of weeks.
Oh my gosh, amazing. I'm so ready. I'm so on a high right now with the Dolphins that I can't imagine putting Heat basketball in my life right now. So guys, and also heads up, when Heat start, our show will be moved depending on the Heat schedule, right? We had this problem in March and April when the Heat were making a playoff run that we couldn't pick a day because it's Heat advance to the next round. So we will keep you updated. We'll try to do it a Tuesday, Wednesday, but it will have to adhere to any home Heat games.
Yeah, during the playoffs, it was the Panthers and the Heat.
I know. Our life just revolved around all that.
And we were fortunate. I mean, really, fortunate to have both teams have home court and home ice advantage throughout the whole.
That was such a fun time.
Didn't work out too well for the Panthers. They bowed out in the second round, but the Heat were right there to the last game in the Eastern Conference Finals. So, it was a good problem to have.
So sometimes I think about Game 7, Celtics Heat, and guys, I'm pretty still sad about that. I'm not gonna lie. It was we didn't go that far just to get that far. So I'm still I don't know. Trust me, I'm super excited. I'm ready for this year, but I'm still disappointed that we weren't in the finals, right? Do you kind of feel that way or you're over it?
No, I'm not. You don't get over something
like
that.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's the Dolphins are a good distraction from it, but it's tough.
Still hurts.
We were right there, and we've lost 3 home games. I mean, we lost 3 home games.
Yeah.
Just that shouldn't have happened, But
and we were at that game. As you guys know, we spoke the story. We have season tickets, and we were there, and we couldn't get off our seat, right? I looked at him. He wouldn't even look at me. He was devastated. I was shocked. And we live so close to FTX where we just walk home. We didn't say a peep to each other. Anyways, okay, let's not talk about that. Heat basketball, full effect in 2 weeks. They're practicing the Panthers, everybody. Judge will get another at-bat tonight.
So let's finish it up with that. Let's talk about
and the Celtics head coach. Okay, so basically, right?
Yeah, that's what makes it worse. This guy was running around his wife with, no.
He wasn't married, but still was making it right. Even if you're not married, he still was making it right.
His girlfriend is an actress. Nia Long is a hot, little thing. And all of a sudden he's, got something going on the side while he's leading his team against our Heat. That made it worse.
It's the prettiest and hottest women who get cheated on, so. Just as a note. Look at Giselle. Isn't Tom cheating on her?
No, I think it's the other way around.
Okay. Well, Tom's hot.
Yeah, well.
Just kidding. Anyways, wrapping it up. MLB baseball. We knew this probably back in April. The Marlins weren't going anywhere. And guess what? Our Miss Cleopatra clear fortune ball. We were right. Marlins did not make the postseason. Either did my Red Sox. So it is not a happy October for me. Let me finish. It is not a happy October for me because both my teams, the Red Sox and the Marlins, will be sitting at home from October. On top of that, Donny Baseball, we officially announced that he is, well, we didn't announce. Marlins organization announced that Donny Baseball will not be coming back to be the coach next year. So our head coach is a head coach vacancy at Miami. Head manager position in Miami is open if anybody knows anybody.
Yeah. Well, look, first off, no one on this show or anywhere, any show, said that the Marlins were going to sniff the postseason. The Red Sox, I saw some people predict that they would be in there. They had a lot of devastating injuries. No one predicted the Marlins, including us. No one said the Marlins were going to be anywhere near the postseason. We wanted to see the team continue to grow and see, them build towards the future, which is what they seem to always be doing. Mm-hmm. But it just went catastrophically bad in the second half. They couldn't win a game. And worse than not coming close to winning a game, they couldn't score any runs. So it was very tough to see. They also had a lot of injuries. They brought up a lot of young talent, some that has, gotten a taste of the big leagues, but nothing that's blown our socks off.
Yeah.
So that's a little concerning. As far as Don Mattingly, look, I love Don Mattingly. I really do. I think he's a great manager. Mm-hmm. He's a player's manager. He fights for his players. Does he make some moves that maybe he shouldn't? Sure. Did he pull
Sandy out when Sandy didn't need to be pulled in the eighth inning? Let him finish the game.
That's different. I'm talking about moves that he makes throughout the course of the game. And then, yes, not letting, trusting his horse to go out there and finish games.
And then a bullpen that's terrible.
Right. Well, we traded two of those, two of our relievers.
I get so mad. I talk about the Marlins.
The thing is, it's not Don Mattingly's fault. He inherited a team when he first got here that had Christian Yelich, who went on to become an MVP with the Brewers, and Giancarlo Stanton, which had an MVP season, under Don Mattingly. Okay, and then we shipped him off to the Yankees. We traded all those guys, including Ozuna, and we got nothing back in return. We got no good players back in return for any of those monster players that were on our franchise. And then the biggest blow and the saddest one, and it was tragic and it was dumb that he did it, but Jose Fernandez, losing his life, being foolish, that set this franchise back for years. So, unfortunately, Donny just never got a chance to work with a team that was worthy of making it during the playoffs. Yeah, I know we got in the playoffs in 2020 in a 30-game season. I'm not counting that. All right? I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want. I'm not counting a 30-game season getting into the playoffs when they made it 8 teams getting in. Ridiculous. So, but he never had a team that could, that he could do anything with. And it was a mutual decision, but I'm sure Don Mattingly wanted to get out of this thing and go somewhere else. And I wish him all the best. I like Don Mattingly. I'm not a Yankee fan, as you know, but I really respect Don Mattingly. Always have, always will. And I really hope that he gets a job somewhere else with a team that he can win with and give him another shot to up his record, because he's the winningest Marlins manager ever, and he's still got like 190 losses, more losses than wins. So I really hope he goes somewhere that he can win. All right, I'm sorry. I know I'm a little upset here.
Okay, so all I was going to say like 15 minutes ago was that you mentioned Christian.
And one more thing.
No, shut up. You mentioned Christian Yelich and you mentioned Giancarlo Stanton, two guys who I really adore.
MVPs.
If they stayed in Miami, their career would have died. If they they would
John,
not.
Look, you're talking about Aaron Judge hitting 61 tonight. Giancarlo Stanton hit 59 with the Marlins.
You don't understand what I'm saying. Let me say. You don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying. Okay, look. First of all, my cousin's going to send you all of his Don Mattingly cards, so you're
awesome.
good.
Oh, that makes up for it.
Russ is telling you to breathe. Okay, what I'm saying is people like Yelich and Stanton, if they were to remain their career in Miami, they would not have become the superstars that they are today. They needed to be part of an organization, a successful organization like New York and so forth, to be the successful player. Doesn't mean they weren't great down here, but they needed to be a successful organization to have the success that they have today. For sure. Okay.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Favorite, as we finish up with baseball, favorite Miami Marlins memory for this season. We went to about 15 games this year, give or take. Favorite memory this year. My favorite Miami Marlins memory in general this year. Can I start?
So hold on. So Adam brings up a good point about Donny having good teams in LA. He did have good teams in LA, but not as good as the teams in LA are now. Dave Roberts, with the teams he's had in the town he's had, he should have 2 World Series, not 1. So we'll see what he does this year. Obviously, the best record in baseball. But if you look at those rosters, Mattingly's Dodgers teams were not as good as what Roberts has now, for sure. But to your point, I'm still going to stand by it. I love Don Manley. I hope he gets another shot with a team that could win.
Okay. So I asked your favorite. I'll start. Favorite Miami Marlin memory this year?
The story of this year is Sandy. Is Sandy just dominating in his campaign for the Cy Young, which he should win because he gets no offensive run support whatsoever, and he's going out there and he's winning games on his own. So on that, premises alone, he deserves a Cy Young. So it's Sandy. They created a whole section, in his name and called Sandy's Beach, and so the joy this year was going out there to see Sandy pitch, because I'll tell you who it wasn't a joy to see, going out there to see
the relief pitchers just throw it out.
Well, yeah, but also getting Jorge Soler and Avisel Garcia, who did absolutely nothing. Look at the stats. It's an embarrassment.
Soler, you come from a World Series champion team to do what in Miami? Nothing.
It was a pathetic campaign for both those guys.
Agreed.
And they're both coming back. And I'll tell you right now,
what do you do?
The pressure is on them to start producing. Because I know there's no mob down here or whatever, but the mob will be me. I'll be out there. If you think
you're not promoting violence on the show.
I'm not saying violence. I'm saying that
mob is violence.
I will go out there with a sign and let these guys know it. You're not going to come out here, get paid for 4 years, and absolutely to put up those crap numbers that you put up this year. So it starts with those two guys having somewhat of a semblance of what they did the previous year before putting on the Marlins uniform.
I'm so sorry I brought this up tonight. Your pressure is probably still high. Yeah. Okay, so my favorite Miami Marlin memory this year, obviously, you can probably guess.
Oh, yeah. It has to do with Sandy too. So
I met Sandy Alcantara, the future National League Cy Young winner, numerous times this year. We met him in preseason, spring training in Jupiter. And it was like a Miami Marlins member thing. So we took a train up there, whatever. We met Sandy. So Lou obviously loves his picture. So he went to take a picture of, it was like Lou, Sandy, and myself. Sandy and I were in the back and Lou was in front. Lou, I know he did this on purpose. He had the blurred vision where it only captures the front person and the back's always blurred. So it was a clear, crisp picture of this face. And then Sandy and I were blurred in the back.
It is a nice face.
So I for sure know that he did that on purpose because he knows Sandy and I are kind of whatever.
Well, it made up for it.
Okay, so then, as they say, karma or the sixth, whatever they say, the ninth degree or whatever, we were in Washington 2 weeks ago to see the Marlins take on the Nationals. And we got there early and I went down to the field area and Sandy was there. There was 5 little kids there. And Sandy and I made eye contact, and I went kind of like this to be hey, give me a ball, just whatever. What am I gonna say? Hey, give me a call? No, hey, give me a ball. So Sandy sees all these little kids by me. He goes and throws me the ball, and I'm should I give the kids the ball? And I'm no. So I walk away, and I'm Lou, oh my god, and so he's kind of just all right, cool, whatever. And he was Lou's a really cool whatever. And he doesn't get jealous. I'm what? But he was go get Sandy to sign it. And I was yes. So then I walked down to the third base line and Sandy and I again make eye contact. And I walked down and they have the netting, but you're able to slide your hand through the netting. So I said, Sandy, can you sign the ball? And he said, yes, absolutely. So then we start talking. And Lou says something, but he's not listening to Lou. He's listening to me. And I'm yeah, you better win Cy Young this year, blah, 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 blah. So I get the ball, and there was 9 digits on the phone. 9 digits on the ball except for autograph. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was 2 digits. He signed it with 2 digits.
His number, 22.
That's what you think. Do you know hieroglyphics? Do you know hieroglyphics? No. So I met Sandy again, signed the ball, took a picture, and Sandy is arguably the best
Sandy
pitcher.
is really the only reason to have watched the Marlins this year. So yeah, that's
for many reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was amazing meeting Sandy. And then my least favorite Miami Marlin memory this year, I have to share the least, was when Jesus Aguilar got traded. It was a few weeks ago. I was having already a bad day at work. Came home, said, Lou, something bad happened. He was and I said, Jesus Aguilar got traded, and then terrible. So Jesus Aguilar did get traded to the Baltimore Orioles this year, a few weeks ago. Cool thing is we actually went to the Orioles-Tigers game 2 weeks ago, and we saw Aggie out there. So I just hope he's happy out there because it really was unfair how he got traded. So that's another F you to the Marlins.
No, they did the right thing. No, excuse me. They did the right thing.
I disagree.
Listen, he wasn't going to come back next year. And this happens very often. They let a player go play with the postseason team.
Okay.
I don't know if Baltimore's going to make it, but they were in the mix, and they did the right thing. They weren't going to bring him back, and they let him join a team that had a chance to go to the postseason. So I was good about it.
Well, then I got my feels.
My least favorite moment was Max Meyer, who was a number one pick, first round pick, came up. He progressed through the minors, got up to us. He made a start against the Phillies. He didn't have the best of starts, but that happens. And then the very
Phillies or Pirates?
No, it was against the Phillies.
Okay.
The very next game against the Pirates, he went out and he pitched an inning, and he ended up getting hurt, and now he's got to go through Tommy John, so he won't even be able to pitch next year. So he's a very one of our big prospects. We are very deep at pitching, at least, but it was tough to see him. A lot of things were expected of him. He obviously won't get a chance to do that for at least a year and a half now. So that's that. Let's talk about some other good moments in baseball that have been happening here.
So Albert Pujols, the player that I grew up watching, has had a stellar year. He's up to in the high teens or low 20s in home runs, I believe. I don't know the number now off the top of my head, but the real number, the more important number, is he hit home run 700 last week in LA. He hit actually both home runs in the same night, 99 and 700. Becoming the fourth player in baseball history to hit 700 home runs. That number is, I can't tell you how big it is. I don't know if we're going to see another 700 home run hitter. So it was huge. Albert Pujols has been a big staple of the game for a long time. A guy that's hit some really just gargantuan home runs in the regular season, the postseason. He's won a couple World Series. So by all accounts, a great guy. And so very happy that he was able to get to 700. And we all know Aaron Judge obviously hit a huge milestone tonight. Me being a non-Yankee fan, we still respect it. Fantastic player. And he's part of the Aaron Judge tonight?
Aaron Judge. So the American League record was 61 by Roger Maris, who was also a Yankee. Look, it all started with Babe Ruth, and we were at his museum.
We did go to the Babe Ruth
When we were in Washington, we went to Baltimore the second leg of the trip, and we were there. We went to where he was born, in the home that he was born in. Yeah. And it all started with the great Babe Ruth. He hit crazy amount of home runs and was the all-time leader for a long time. The big number was 60. That was the number that everybody was chasing by Babe Ruth. Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle were in the race to get to that number. Roger Maris ultimately ended up getting to 61 to pass Babe Ruth. And for a long time, that was the record that stood until, of course, Sosa, McGuire, and Bonds began to kind of tamper with the game a little bit and hit some, numbers that seem kind of like cartoonish at this point. So a lot of people still believe that 61 is the home run record because it's not tampered. It wasn't, messed with, manipulated with. So 61 is huge. He tied that tonight. So Judge has now tied Roger Maris, which is the lead for the most hit in the American League. And again, what most people consider to be the true record. So
our buddy Batter Fins fan makes a very bold statement. He says, I think Aaron might flirt with 700 by the time his career is over. Agree or disagree?
I disagree. He's 30 years old now. He's in his age 30 season.
No, he's my age. He's 32. Oh, no, it's Stan. Stan's my age.
I think he's 30, I want to say. But either way, he it's not like he did this. He didn't. I think it's going to take somebody coming up, at like a guy like J-Rod over in Seattle. I don't see him, either doing it. But it's going to have to take a guy coming up in his early 20s and consistently hitting 35 to 40 home runs every year for 20 plus years, right? Yeah. So it's going to be tough to do. Nowadays people, with injuries, we were in Baltimore. You saw how many games Cal Ripken played in a row. That doesn't happen to anybody.
No.
I wish I could find out what the current active streak is. It's probably not anywhere close to that.
No.
Because, you got double headers now. You got
COVID.
You got COVID you got double headers because of COVID.
Yeah.
You got players making so much money that they need a day off. They need days, to rest. I think a lot goes into it, and I don't know that we'll see somebody get to 700 again.
So our buddy Chef Jew in the house. What's up, kid?
What's up, Chef Jew?
Check our pulse, man. Oh, dude. Game nights, I'm telling you, it's like Christmas night every night before we have a game now. You sleep in your Dolphins PJs. We're checking our pulse. We're there. We're ready. Well, we're not there. This is the first Dolphins game all year that we're not at. It's hard for us to get anywhere on a Thursday night. We have regular 9 to 5s, but let's see what happens.
So I do want to leave with two. Well, we also want to wrap up with the Dolphins, but while we're on the baseball theme, just wanted, because I was talking about this with good buddy Adam and Chris.
Yeah.
What is the bigger number? Is 700 the bigger number, or is what Judge is about to do, which he has 7 more games to get past 61 and set, which a lot of people will think will be the record? What is the bigger number? I ask you. I asked.
Yeah, of course. Ask me. No, I'm glad you want to know my opinion. It's the bigger number. You look at the big thing, right? Like, yeah, you want every season's milestones, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be recognized. Oh, in the 2022 season, you hit this. People aren't going to remember that. They're going to remember your final stats.
Sure.
Right. So I personally think that the bigger number as a whole is what you're remembered as. You don't remember somebody. Oh, I hit 15 home runs in 1989. No, you hit 400 home runs your whole entire career. So it's the bigger number that is what you're remembered as. Doesn't mean that every milestone you don't celebrate, because obviously Rome wasn't built in a day and it's a whole building block of process. But at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, it's your final record of what you accomplished that is going to be the most remembered. Oh, I said that's so sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh my God, I'm like giving myself tears, guys.
Oh, say it again so I can write it down. No, I agree with you. I think that it's what Judge is doing. Obviously, is insane, and he's a good guy too. So it's good for the game, good for him. Again, I am not a Yankee fan, far from it. However,
we don't talk about the Yankees.
Again, he is a good guy for the game, and he is having a historic season, and it's fantastic. I just think if you're asking me to pick one, and I asked the question, so I'm asking myself now. But if you're asking me to pick, most home runs in a year, or the longevity of career, I would go with Pujols. That number 700 is just so hard to put into context, and so I'm going to go with that. I did have a second question. I don't know did the room chime in with what they would.
Yeah. So my cousin said, Vinny said, both matter for legacy. Yeah. And then Adam said, I think they both carry a ton of weight. So that's pretty much the consensus. And then
that's a great point. So
button, please.
Put that back. What Adam just said. So. Okay. Roger Maris, who isn't, he's a borderline. A lot of people think that he might belong in the Hall of Fame because he, did have a lot of RBIs. His average was somewhat respectable. So, but yes, he only hit 275. He wasn't a home run hitter per se, but everybody ties him to, 61. And because of that, he's got all this, fame and all these years later, his family's been flown all over the country the last couple of weeks. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we got everybody's opinion in there. I have one more question for you guys out there and for you as well.
Oh.
And I asked this also with my good buddies Adam and Chris. If you were in attendance at this game tonight or any one of these games where 700 or 61 comes to you. Where 61 or 700 comes to you, you catch it. And now all of a sudden you got 20 employees from the respective team come out and say, oh my goodness, congratulations on catching this ball. We need that ball back, and we would like to make a deal with you. We can get you a bunch of signed bats and a bunch of, if you got kids, we'll get all your kids signed autographs and signed baseballs. You could come to all the games the rest of the year in a suite, all you can eat, whatever. Are you going to take that deal?
You had me at all you can eat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, absolutely. First of all, first person I'm calling is you. But you'll probably be with me. But if you're not, right? Correct. Like, I'd be like, Lou, I did something bad. I caught a ball. I know, but that would be the first thing. Like, but I'd be like, everyone's around.
Meanwhile, breaking news. He's coming up to bat again right now. So, so we're going to keep on talking. But
as you guys put your comment, what would you do? I catch it. I say no. I sell it on eBay. All right. Show me the money. Okay. Right here. Okay. So show me the money. So Adam wants the money. Russ has put it on eBay. Okay, and then my cousin, what about helping his team get rings too? Maris had a few, I think. So what I do with the ball, right? I catch the ball. All these guys are, but I caught the ball.
Perfect.
I don't want the baseballs, right? I don't want the bats.
Right. Okay, so you said you didn't. Okay. All right, he didn't get it. He just
grounded out to short.
So, okay.
So he's done.
All right. Doesn't look like history is going to be made. History has been made, but it's not going to be broken tonight. So, okay.
Okay. So,
Oh man, so Russ Taylor just Coolio, great. Wow, Coolio, man. Wow. Coolio, very, very famous rapper. I guess he now is gone up to the ultimate gangster's paradise. That's tough news to break, man. Coolio. Shout out to Coolio. Damn.
Okay. Well, all right. So I catch the ball. What I'm doing is I'm calling you if you're not there. You probably are there with me because you're with me all the time. But if you're not there, I'm calling you. Second thing I'm doing is 59 years old. Oh, wow. All right. No, I don't care about the signed balls. I don't care about the signed bats. Pictures are cool, right? Like back in the day, it wasn't about like, oh, take a picture. Oh, yeah, I'd want a picture with like Aaron Judge or whoever. I need the money though, right? I have a lot of student loans. I went to 3 great colleges. I have 3 fantastic degrees. I would sell it for a lot of money. I don't know. I'm saying that now, and I'm kind of like not liking what I'm saying.
So listen,
I don't know. I'm not going to catch it. We're not going to go to the games. I don't know. The Marlins are terrible. They don't even hit home runs. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you what all of us, my buddies in the group chat, said. We said we would sell it. We would absolutely sell it. Now, I would say 2 things. Number one, you got to sell it right away because perfect case in point. Mark McGwire hit number 70, and somebody paid $3 million for that ball. $3 million
in 90 something, right?
Right, 90 something. A couple of years later, Barry Bonds comes and hits number 73. So now what do you think that ball's worth? Nothing. So, you got to sell it quick if you're going to do it. That's 1. 2, if it's your own team, if it's the team that you support, and you go there every day to watch
them. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. It's team you support, and you're a season ticket holder. You go to all the games, and they offer you lifetime tickets or something outrageous. Maybe you consider it a little bit, but nah. At the end of the day, give me the money. I mean,
you say that too. Okay, because you're such a good guy. I didn't think you would say that. I'd be like, give it to the floor or something.
Look, here's the thing. Just look no further than when these players have the opportunity to become free agents and go somewhere else. It's very rare that somebody's going to say, "Oh, I want to stay. I love it here. I want to play." If the other team's offering $2, $3, $4 million more, they're going to go, even though in the grand scheme of things, over that contract, it's not that much money. But at the end of the day, it's more money than they were going to, be offered there.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Freddie Freeman. He didn't want to leave Atlanta, but the Dodgers blew him away with the offer.
Money talks, right? Money talks.
So I would put it in the same context. If your favorite player, had an opportunity to sign elsewhere, despite how much he says he loves the fans, loves the media, loves your town, does charitable organizations and the philanthropy in your town. If there's a better offer that's going to benefit him and his family, or him and they're going to take that offer. So it's one of those deals. Yeah, I don't know if they were talking about right now about Brady.
Yeah,
but Brady's last ball.
Okay, let me tell you real quick. The show. We don't talk about Brady.
Too much Brady talk today.
No, it's a good point though. Yeah, Brady is his last touchdown, this and that, and it sold for like an arm and a leg and a kidney, and then like he doubles back in action. Not having the great year, but he's back.
It brings up when you had OJ McDuffie on earlier.
Yeah.
He caught a lot of Dan Marino's record-breaking balls.
Oh yeah, we did ask him that.
Funny story that he told you is that he said that whenever before the game, somebody would go up, and most of the time it was Dan himself saying, "Hey, if you score, anybody who scores, I need that ball back." Because in Brady's case, I forget the receiver was. I hope it wasn't Antonio Brown, but somebody caught it and chucked it into the stands, and somebody caught it.
Yeah.
Now it's their ball in possession.
It wasn't
no. But yeah, so it's an interesting question to ask. But I think the majority of people, especially if it's an opportunity to get a life changing amount of money, you do it. You got to do it.
I don't know. Well, good thing is we're not at any record-breaking games. Both our teams are not making the postseason, and so I don't have to worry about that pressure. I already have high anxiety. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd freak out. I'd probably start crying. I don't know what I would do. So just not happening to me. I called Sandy's ball this year, and that was enough anxiety. So whatever.
You got the ball that counts, and you didn't sell it. I tried to buy it from her, and she won't sell it to me.
My cousin said, "Look at the above reference of future. Another Back to the Future reference. That one?
No, just got to go up one more.
Let's see what he said. The ultimate gangsta's paradise.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, he did. Oh man, that's tough to hear. Coolio was a cool guy. It's in his name, but yeah.
Julio was a cool guy.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think it's a little insensitive?
No, he was.
Julio was a cool guy.
He was.
Okay. Anyway, so we have the game tomorrow. This time tomorrow night, our Dolphins will be playing. Hopefully, we're up by a lot of points. But yeah, I don't like Thursday night games, right? Obviously, I have work the next day on Friday, but I'm not a fan of Thursday night games. Obviously, last season, Thursday night football was amazing down here. Played Ravens, tore up Lamar Jackson down here. So maybe we do have something special Thursday night, but this time tomorrow, we'll be watching it.
Yeah, no, it's a big game. We've come this far. The fact, what I do like about Thursday, it stinks that it's a couple days later, and Tua's kind of on the injury report, so that's a little disconcerting. But I love the 10 days off afterwards, right? You don't play Sunday, you're off a full week, and then we got the Jets, so it's pretty much like 2 bye weeks in a row. No offense, Vinny, but it's the Jets. So I think if we win this game tomorrow night,
4-0,
we really are set up where we came out in a lot of the power rankings this week as number 1.
Yeah. Us or the Eagles, what's the majority of what
Yeah, but a lot of people put us at number 1. And as much as I love it to hear that, it's great. I got to be honest, I'm not completely buying, drinking the Kool-Aid right now.
No.
It's
every
still
week.
It's way too early. Way too early. At the end of the day, I talked about it, before earlier in the show. We had a tremendous comeback against Baltimore, and really Buffalo had opportunities to win that game, and they didn't. Credit to us. Yeah. We stopped them. Our defense stopped them, but they had opportunities in that game where a missed field goal and going for a field goal before the half ended would have been a difference in the game. So we have been lucky, but we've also played very good opponents. Okay, New England made the playoffs last year. Baltimore, some people picked them to go to the Super Bowl. Buffalo, everyone picked them to go to the Super Bowl. So we didn't beat up on cream puffs. We're 3-0 against really good.
He said cream puffs.
We're 3-0 against really good competition, and we got another one tomorrow. The Bengals have what we want to be AFC champions. So
I like
we really have to come full out tomorrow. What I love is our defense. They've been balling out, but they've just been falling short of making big plays.
Yeah, big sixes.
And I think Joe Burrow, we talked about it, with our guest tonight.
With Jack.
They've given up 15 sacks in the first 3 games. This is a tailor-made game for Ogba, Phillips, Christian Wilkins, Jerome Baker. I would bring the heat, bring the house. Just make Joe Burrow uncomfortable. Don't give him time to throw the ball. Put him on his back, okay, and then let's go out and enforce our will, dominate, and if we can come out of Cincy with a win and be 4-0.
Oh my God, man, I'm streaking. I'm doing it. I'm streaking. I say that like every time something big was gonna happen. When St. John's in the Big East tournament, and we were playing was it Villanova?
Yes.
And I was like, if we win, I'm streaking. Didn't happen. So every time I say that, actually doesn't happen. So let me just stop.
So don't say it.
I'm not doing it. Not doing it. All right. As we start to wrap up, do you have a score prediction for mañana?
I'm feeling good about it. I think that we are going to pull this one out. I think Jack said 24-21.
Jack said 3 points. So yeah, I think that's what it was.
I'm going to say a little higher. I'm going to say Dolphins 26, Bengals 23.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. I mean, I think we got a good chance to win tomorrow. We need Tua healthy though. We need to impose our will on defense and just keep on bringing this energy.
Does that score prediction change if Tua is not playing tomorrow?
Yes, big time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, if Tua doesn't play, I don't think we can win the game. I just don't. Look, I've mentioned this all 3 weeks, and we kind of didn't bring it up tonight, but we haven't been able to run the ball. I know Edmonds scored. Edmonds scored 2 rushing touchdowns, but once again, we had a subpar running game. Okay. Now, a lot of people brought this up during the week as well. The Bills don't have a running game, and they don't. Singletary, Moss, they're mixing it in and not getting results either. However, I'll tell you who does run the ball for them is Josh Allen. Josh Allen runs the ball plenty for them.
He's so good.
Tua doesn't, and neither will Teddy. So we need to be able to run the ball. And if Tua doesn't go tomorrow night, we're going to have our work cut out for us because we can't. We haven't proven that we can run the ball. So one thing that we haven't done, that we need to clean up. Everything else, I'm pleased with.
before I tell you, before I share again who is questionable, Rivers Craycrafts has officially been signed by the team. Like, officially.
He's got 2 touchdowns, so
super excited.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's got some big balls.
Yeah, no, super excited. He, is one of those players where I hope he's really gonna make the team. And then he's like practice squad, and then so really deserve it. Really excited for him. Just as a recap again, tomorrow, Dolphins take on the Bengals. Thursday Night Football. If you live in South Florida, you will get it for free on channel 39. If you have Twitch, you'll be able to watch it around the world. Or if you don't have any of those 2 means, get Amazon Prime, the 4-week trial. It is for free, and you'll be able to watch a Thursday Night Football game on Amazon Prime. It is not on the NFL Network, so know that. But Amazon Prime is your best way to do it if you don't live in the South Florida region. Tomorrow, question.
Also, just before you go, if you are playing fantasy football, there is a 9:30 game from London this Sunday. I believe it's the Saints and Vikings, I want to say. I know the Saints are definitely one of the teams playing, but either way, if you play fantasy, make sure you pay attention early Sunday morning, because there is a game at 9:30 in the morning from London Sunday.
Yeah, what I was going to say, we do have some key players who are questionable for tomorrow. We thought that Coach McDaniel would have given us a more solidified update, but as of now, Tua is still questionable. Jalen Waddle is questionable. Xavier Howard is questionable. Teron Armstead, who has been questionable the last few weeks, but have still showed out and played, is questionable. And I'm missing one more.
No, you got it. Teron Armstead has not been practicing. We'll ask Richmond about that tomorrow. Yeah. That's fine. I have no issues with it.
I love him.
There's a lot of players that they don't need to. Teron Armstead is a vet.
Yeah.
He's a baller, and he don't
need the practice. He's fine.
I'm cool with that, so I'm not worried about it being on the report. He's going to suit up tomorrow.
So this has been our longest show by far. We've had so much fun chatting with you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for all the viewers who have tuned in tonight. Again, prayers and thoughts to everybody on the west coast of Florida with Hurricane Ian. From what we're seeing here, and it's terrible. The devastation out of Fort Myers and Northport and Port Charlotte, it's devastating. The storm is currently moving very slow across the state of Florida through Lakeland. Tampa did get pretty much luck. I don't say lucky, but they didn't get the brunt that they thought they were going to get. Storm is going up to Orlando now. The parks are closed today and tomorrow, and then it'll make its way pretty much through the I-4 corridor, heading out to Daytona Beach, Palm Coast, and it should be out in the ocean, or if not the East Coast, by Thursday night into Friday morning. So again, prayers up to everybody who has been affected by the storm. We are okay in Miami. We just got a lot of rain, a lot of wind, but this is a bad one. So it just goes to show you, cannot mess with Mother Nature. Listen to the weather reports and be prepared, because you just don't know.
Yeah, so everybody be safe out there. The chat was awesome tonight. Everybody was giving their opinions. That was great, and so really appreciate all the guys in the room. That was fantastic.
Perfect. All right, guys. So tomorrow, let's do a quick pregame show with Dolphins great Richmond Webb at 7:45. Do a quick show at 15 minutes. Just talk about his predictions and kind of where we're at in the season, and then we're gonna watch the game. I want to do a Peyton Eli thing, but Lou cannot do that during the game because he's just a psycho, and the words that he would say, I would get banned for life from YouTube. So if anybody wants to do a Peyton Eli thing with me, let me know.
Do it in another room somewhere else, because
You'd be like, shut up, I can't hear it. But no.
Focus.
I'm focusing too. I just interact. No. All right. Anyways, good night, guys. Go Fins. Take care. Everybody, good luck to your teams on Sunday. And hopefully we wake up on Friday and we're 4-0.
Yeah, that's right. You said it.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night, guys. Fins up.